Folks, Bob Menery, you're listening to Agree to Disagree, the flagship, only on A2D Radio. Uncle Sweeps, Nick Delgazzo, the legendary Brian Wilson, and the fucking man himself, Tom Arnone. These three guys from Jersey bringing you real talk with no agenda. You don't like them? Tough shit. It's their show, and they're going to say whatever the hell they goddamn want.
Wow. Albie's dead central. Sorry.
Little BP game here.
I was just going to say, Albie's dead central. They can hit a little bit. Braves are okay.
Welcome in, family. Agree, disagree. A2D Radio. We're live every Sunday. We are brought to you by our doc. Make him yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Tom Arnone, Greg Mwagovic, Nick Delgazzo, no Brian Wilson tonight. We'll see him next week. We assume if he believes we're doing a show or not. Time will tell. I mean, like the guy really goes, "Oh, I didn't know if we were doing one tonight." You don't know if we're doing one. Sports are finally back, Brian. We're absolutely doing a show. Wake up. Wake up. I could have the longest weekend in American history, and we were pulling off a way to do a show tonight. You understand? Like, you couldn't have heard from me for a week and assume, Sunday night, I assume we're going on, right? But the guy, crumb of the week, could be Brian Wilson. We'll talk about that later on in the show. Sixers, so close. So close. Joel, little calf strain now. We'll talk about that. Monitor that a little bit, and we'll talk some Sixers as well. Return to Major League Baseball. It's here. How long it's going to go for, I don't know. We'll ask the Marlins about that one. But right now, baseball's back. It's exciting just to have it on, right? It's been a little weird to have it on because you're like, some things are strange. No fans are a little bit strange, but I think we'll all get used to that over time. But it's nice. It's just great to have it on, and Phillies not off to the start we wanted to, and that ties into our main topic at hand: the Phillies' early struggles. Again against the Marlins again. So some things are continue to trend in a direction like once this team started beating you last year, you let them know that they can play with you. And then since then, to me, they've dominated us. And semi-embarrassed us, too, if you want to consider yourself a playoff team, even though almost everybody makes it this year. But in other years, you want to consider yourself a playoff team. That's a joke way to come out. I don't care. It's early. I don't want to hear that stuff. It's a joke. We're going to talk about the Phillies. A poll question brought to you by Ambuck Services, 20% off. Telling the boys from HUD Radio sent you. Gutters, gutter guards, gutter installation, deck restoration of goddamn everything. They got you covered. AmbuckServices.com. Our poll question: you are concerned with the Phillies' early struggles? Agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's where we're live. And everywhere you get your podcast, you can find us there as well. Like, follow, subscribe. Welcome in. I was hoping to come to you today after a Harper bomb early on and saying, hey, good bounce back, good response. You come take 2 out of 3 now after losing game 1 to the Marlins. Great response. That's what I was hoping to come on today. But you know what continues is that Vince Velasquez is still a starter in Major League Baseball. Why not anywhere? Shouldn't be a starter anywhere in Major League Baseball. Okay? What was rolled out of the bullpen today is a disgrace to a big market team. A flat-out disgrace. They're the arms in your pen. Okay? There isn't a big market team that's going to contend, that's rolling out the slop out of the bullpen like we're rolling out there consistently. There's not a big market team at their arm number 2 where there's so many damn question marks. A big market team that thinks they can contend with so many question marks after 2, it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And listen, I came on and I wanted to be positive, but in reality, we all knew this team had a flat-out rake for the win games and be the team we want them to be. And again, 3 times the bases loaded today, twice with less than 1 out. Not good enough. But again, when you can't get outs, you're not beating anybody. You're just not beating anybody. If your bullpen can't come in and get outs against the Miami Marlins, how the hell am I supposed to trust this bullpen against the likes of the Atlanta Braves, against the likes, I don't even care who's on the Nationals, against the Nationals, against the Yankees, against the Mets. I mean, the list goes on, right? I can't even trust against the Baltimore Orioles right now. Really? You want to be realistic? How can I trust them against anybody? Listen, it's a disgrace to a big market team. The bullpen arms and the lack of pitching after Zach Wheeler is a disgrace, and Matt Klintak's job, I don't care if it's 22 games, understand, is on the line to me.
It should be. Absolutely. I mean, listen, as we had the poll question last week, and we've discussed this for 2 years, you know what I mean? Like, the lack of arms, you know what I mean? Like, he's doing a good job signing, bringing in hitters, right? But I mean, he's dropping the ball on the pitching side. Wheeler, obviously a huge pickup. We get that, you know what I mean? But there's so many other pieces you got to fill in, you know what I mean? And the apologists, like I said, this is what happens again. So, everybody said, well, the same narrative only a year later, maybe it was the manager. No. It was the manager, but the bullpen is a disgrace. And we already knew that going in. So, you need guys to pitch above their pay grade, you know what I mean, so to speak, you know what I mean? And it doesn't early on, you're just like, it's an episode of Major League, you know what I mean? You're like, those guys are eating their lunch and they're like, who are these guys? These guys are shitty, you know what I mean? And it's just like, once again, you come back to Middleton where, talking about stupid money, you know what I mean? But you let Liriano walk out the door, you know what I mean? Because you're talking about luxury tax, you know what I mean? It's like, are you kidding me? Like, there's a vet, a left-handed vet coming out of the pen right there for you instead of an Irvin. You know what I mean? Like, no.
And what happened to Cole Irvin tonight? Got shouted. Okay? You know what I mean? To your point. Cole Irvin got shouted. He doesn't deserve a big roster spot. Let's be real. Unless he's on the Kansas City Royals, or Baltimore Orioles, he doesn't deserve a big league roster spot for a team that wants to contend in legitimate innings.
No, absolutely. And like I said, with the overhaul, and we were happy that Brian Price is in town, you know what I mean? Like, we still think highly of him, so I'm not putting it on him. But, collectively in that room, I do not know what they were looking at. You know what I mean? There's a difference between, having electric stuff and then being able to do it at the big league level. You know what I mean? So there might be some guys back there, that they might have some stuff, you know what I mean? But they've never done it before. So you're not going to expect that in a 60-game window when you can't stub your toe. You got to get out. You got to get out hot. You know what I mean? And not have a guy like, I know, like I said, they're trying to save a year. I get it. 60 games. All right. But, Howard better be up quick. You know what I mean? Like, this is. Yeah. And Vinny V, like, I don't know, how could you not look at tape and see what we see? I mean, you guys are big league evaluators, all right? We're telling you, right? We're not saying we have all the answers to everything. We're not saying it's that easy.
We're close.
Right? You know what I mean? We're not sitting on our couch and saying, hey, hey, do this and do that, all right? And Monday morning quarterbacks, right? But, the proof is in the pudding. Exactly. The body of work is there. The proof is in the pudding. You know what I mean? We've been trying to tell you, though. Whether it works out or not, the guy's got great stuff, and it's for one inning. Look at that first inning. His first inning was wipeout nastiness, right? And then he comes out after with a 4-run lead and takes a shit in the top of the second. Talk about a shutdown inning, and you don't get it, and you give the lead right back up. And then that, it just set the tone for the whole day. You know what I mean? But that wipeout first inning could be in the 8th, or it could be in the 9th, all right?
Or even in the 7th. I mean, anywhere back there.
Yeah,
anywhere, 7, 8, 9, anywhere is, and plus it's twofold because then it makes you better back there. So it's like 101 common sense. All right, let's get into our poll question. You are concerned with the Phillies' early struggles, agree or disagree? Listen, I mean, I'm big time concerned about this bullpen and this staff because it's not good enough. And then we can expect Spencer Howard to come up and be the savior, then so be it. But he's better than what's here, in my opinion. All right, we'll see what we get. We'll see what we get out of Arrieta. I mean, that's now a big time start, because, I mean, you got to hope that he's got to come throw well. So now you're at least confident in 3 of them, because then at least it's only 4 or 5 that's a mess. Most teams have 5th that's an issue, maybe 4, right? But the good ones aren't going to have 3, 4, or 5 that are big time question marks, and a bullpen that I'm literally listen. I consider myself a baseball guy. Dude, I don't know half of these guys. Like, I got to search their, like, let me see this guy's number. Where was he at? Who was he at before? California Penal League? Where the hell did he come from? You know what I mean? And that's what half of this bullpen is. I don't understand. I don't understand how you can spend all this money and never address it. I can't believe you don't have arms in your farm system that this don't come up. Everybody does. It comes up and throws 99. I know everybody can hit 99, but we don't even have arms that can throw 99. Like, it's amazing. Like, maybe the only team in baseball that doesn't have guys at the back end of their pen that can just flat out throw some smoke at you. Like, I swear, we're maybe
that was the only thing that was encouraging from that Rojas or Romas, that kid in game one, Russo or whoever. He was at least dialing it up. I mean, he couldn't miss a barrel. He couldn't hit JT's glove. But at least, to your point, Tom, at least we had somebody finally coming in and throwing a little gas. But that was all he could do that first game.
It's this guy I never heard of before. Then, though, you know what I mean? Then this is another guy. You're like, who the hell is this guy? Like,
yeah.
Okay, throw some smoke. You know, it can't locate worth shit. I'm just tired of the same old when it comes to this. You know, there's certain organizations in this city that don't value certain things that are important, right? And it seems like the Philadelphia Phillies, you know, don't value the back end of their bullpen or bullpen in general. It just doesn't seem like that, or they just constantly get caught with their pants down. I mean, they want to take.
It's funny. Yeah, I know what you're saying. You know what I mean? Like the Eagles don't really value the linebacker position.
No.
They might tell you that, but they don't.
Never do. Choirs never valued a goalie forever. They never valued like bring up their own goalie forever until Carter Hart.
Yeah, they were able to find the pup. Yeah.
I mean the Sixers. I mean, where do you start? You know, where do you start on not valuing things for a long time?
We don't value shooters. It's been like 10 years. So it's a Philly theme. I hear you. What up, pop?
But it's just amazing. It really is, and they just don't value the back end of their pen. And when they do, it's guys like David Robertson, which like we're all good with that signing at the time because the guy's always was healthy, right? But then there's like a stigma when you come here. Like it's happened to all of them. You know, you couldn't get Pat Neshek to pitch here. You know what I mean? Like, granted, he's a crumb, but like it's just like anybody you bring here either falls apart. You know, stink. Like Tommy Hunter used to be able to get outs in this league. Now when he came here, couldn't get me or you out. So I mean, like this is what it's just amazing. So you know, some of them I think the transition of new manager, new pitching coach, new hitting coach, all that will take time to get for them to get their stamp on things, right? And it might take a year, but better believe that Joe Girardi will not allow this to continue in the future. So whatever happens this year, I can guarantee everybody out there, this is why we need to get Cap or out, because Joe Girardi is a pro's pro and will not tolerate a bullpen like this or a rotation outside of the couple like this after this year, right? You know what I'm saying? I think we can all agree on that. There's going to be some headbutting if that doesn't get addressed either at the trade deadline, which is like 3 weeks away, or
tomorrow.
4 games
tomorrow,
or 3 months from now when free agency starts again. Either way, better believe that this is why it's such a big hire. He won't allow this to continue.
That was the encouraging thing to me after game one is you finally got some like true answers at a press conference. You know what I mean? Not like, not to read too much in a press conference, but at least you got honest answers as opposed to, big words trying to mask what he was trying to say, right? You know what I mean? It's like with the guy he brought in, he's like, listen, it was the first time. We just wanted to see what we got out of him, and it did work. I tried something. And you're like, all right, I can buy into that.
No, absolutely. And at the time, you're just like, this guy was the first guy out of the pen, and it was actually, and it really wasn't on Joe, because that's kind of a foreshadowing of what the hell's back there. You know what I mean? Like he's picking up the phone, and it's like, only Vaughn's in the cupboard. You know what I mean? And not good Vaughn, like corporate
early Vaughn, corporate Vaughn,
corporate Vaughn is horseshit.
with Veronica trying to sell cereals.
Exactly.
But listen, guys, this is where the tease comes in, and I said it when we signed Harper. Don't tease me with halfway in. You can't be halfway into things. I said it ad nauseum on the air last year. We all did. Like the tease. That's all last year was. It was a tease. Like, okay, you're going to sign Harper, give him all this money, but what else? What else? You're going to surround him with a bunch of minor leaguers, essentially, like arm wise. You know what I mean? Like you have to learn as an organization to address things or figure out people and bring people in to address things. Then
that's what I'm saying. And the game, like I said, the game has changed. You know what I mean? So it's, you would think that they would value that on the back end. You know what I mean? We don't necessarily agree with that. You know what I mean? The days of, guys going, going CGs and guys going, giving you quality starts, 7 innings, 3 runs or less, they've gone by the wayside. It's become a pen game. You know what I mean? So that's even more mind boggling that they haven't got behind this. You know what I mean? Where Wheeler was the fish. There wasn't much out there starting wise, so they got the one fish that was out there, and then you just got to try to, build your pen, where you can shorten it. Where if your other starters are horse shit, which is, it looks to be, on paper, like you said, we'll see what Arrieta gives you. We know what Vinny's going to give you. All right. So if that's the case, if you're not long, if your starters aren't very good, then if your pen is nails, you can shorten a game. You know what I mean? You get to the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. You know what I mean?
We're talking about the Yankees that last week, right? That's what we talked about the Yankees.
Yeah, with the Phillies, you almost need Nola and Wheeler to go CGs.
Yeah.
You truly do. Or you need this lineup to put up 10 a game. And that's not realistic to ask for. So, I mean, this is the problem. This is where you're halfway in, okay? You're halfway in because you put a lineup together that's big time formidable, in my opinion. Like, big time. Like, I expect this lineup to hit all year, all right? Or hit for 60 games now, okay? But at the end of the day, you can't be halfway in. And it's a halfway in act, right? You bring in Zach Wheeler, okay? But what about the rest of your rotation? So again, you're halfway in. All right, Hector Neris, Adam Morgan, guys we like, but you're not even halfway in there. I mean, you're not even a quarter. You're like a centimeter in. It's bad back there. But you see how like you're halfway in almost everywhere else? And that's the problem. You're not fully in. Like the Yankees aren't halfway into this, man. You know what I mean? Like the big market teams, the Dodgers, sure as hell aren't halfway in. They're not, water's warm, and somebody put my toe in. No, if the water's warm, jump. So when you sign Bryce Harper and you're talking about signing JT Realmuto, okay, well, what are you bringing in around them guys? Because that's all well and good. All right, listen, the Angels have Mike Trout. Now Rendon's not playing right now. Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon. I can't think of a better combo. All right, doesn't mean they're going to win shit if you have nobody to pitch. You know what I mean? You got to get outs in this league as much as everybody can hit. So you got to get outs, and it's who's got more arms. And you look at like the Rays. The Rays have a better bullpen than the Philadelphia Phillies. That's a disgrace, guys. I mean that's a mockery. And listen, this isn't on Joe Girardi, but Joe Girardi will fix this, and that's why I think we were all excited with the hire because we knew deep down that Matt Quintak won't be able to get away with shit forever with big league and guys that got their big boy pants on, right? Like we have here now in Joe Girardi. Unlike Gabe Kapler, who's not going to rock the boat, Joe Girardi will go to John Middleton and be like, yo, how's them cigars selling? Because we need some guys back there. Real. You know what I'm saying in so many words. But that's what it's going to come down to because Matt Quintak's incompetent. He's incompetent at listen, he's had enough time now to draft guys. I mean, I don't want to crush Mickey Moniak, but the fact that he can't be one of your 60, you know what I mean? That's an indictment on your general manager, okay? When everybody's coming up around the league. Anybody's big prospects are probably up here after next week, all of them, and this guy still can't make it up here. I'm not attacking the kid. I'm attacking the guy who drafted the kid, all right? And I'll continue to circle it, right? There's other guys in this organization that just aren't good enough that are his picks and early picks. Not, you know what I mean? And I know it's Major League Baseball, it's a crapshoot like every other draft, but other teams hit.
Yeah.
Other teams hit. You can't miss number 1, right? You can miss some places, man. You can't miss when you're in the top 10 for how many years?
You can't miss one. You can't miss one.
No. So, I mean, that's the first indictment of them. The second indictment is the manager you hired first, okay, with his clown shoes on, right? And then the third indictment is the roster he's put together with an open checkbook. So you tell me who's the blame here. I'm not going to talk about this season's over because it's not. Am I concerned about their early struggles? Yeah. They're glaring concerns that we all thought they were going to have. But it's not over. You know what I mean? There's plenty of baseball left, okay? still to
Even
go
though
here.
it's a shortened season, there's still a lot of time.
There's a lot of time, but I'm definitely
Which is why we were so happy that the Yankees were like at this point of the year, so that thinking you got by the Marlins, maybe we should stop thinking that. But if you stubbed your toe against the Yankees, at least you had games that can recover from it, right? Going to the poll, I completely agree. If it was just one area that was bad, like if it was just a bullpen, if it was just a rotation, if it was just hitting, I wouldn't be as concerned because I feel like we could get over that, right? It's just a new season, the start, between the two different layoffs, all that.
In the lineup, it'll come together.
Yeah, like if it was just one thing, I'd be okay. But when it's all three of them, you know what I mean? And you look at the stats today, 14 men left on base. Tommy, I know you alluded to that earlier. 2 innings in a row, bases loaded. Bruce 0 for 1, Harper 1 for 2, Segura 0 for 2, Goslin 0 for 1, Didi 1 for 2, Real Muto 0 for 2, Kingery 0 for 2, and Hoskins 0 for 1 with runners in scoring position. That's unacceptable for those guys. You know what I mean? For those guys that are on that list, maybe outside of Goslin and Kingery, where you kind of like, all right, maybe they're, that's above their pay grade, just be who they are, outside of being
these are open
everybody else on that list.
These are open checkbook guys, man. You know what I mean? These are open checkbook guys.
Sometimes you got to win it. Sometimes you got to win a 12-11 game. You know what I mean? It doesn't fix your problems, right? But you got to win a 12-11 game, all right? And they had opportunities to put up 15 or 16 today, and hitting's not easy, all right? So nobody's crushing you just for that. But when there's bases loaded and you get two infield flies,
flies.
Like there's no production there. You know what I mean? Like you got to, like even 2 sack flies, cuts that to 11-8 and makes things.
Chip away. The old chip away.
Touched on it.
That's all it is. The old chip away.
You touched on it earlier. No Liriano, no Drew Storen, no Bud Norris. I'm not crowning these guys as great bullpen pieces, but they're at least veterans who you knew did it at one point, right? At least guys that we know can or at least have done it. But because you don't want to go over that luxury tax, which has now become more and more evident, you went with the youth movement, which is fine, but I haven't seen any electric stuff out of these youth movement guys to where like, oh, that's why this guy's here over Liriano.
Listen, these are the indictments because there's more electric stuff not even on this roster. That's the indictment. There is stuff out there in their farm system of guys who can hum it up a little bit and improve to get outs. They're around. I mean, I'm not there saying there's a ton of them, but there's at least 2, 3, maybe 4 guys that at least pitch in the big leagues that prove they can get outs on top of like the Lirianos and the guys that I can't believe don't make this roster. Why bring them in though? Like they're better than, like you said, if I got to Google you at this point, you're a problem. You know what I mean? You're an issue as a general manager because this isn't the Baltimore Orioles. This isn't a small market team. And when you're watching teams around you that pride themselves in spending money the right way, but not only that, constantly develop talent. So the
player development is big.
The player development here in the city of Philadelphia has been a problem for a long time. I still don't think they address. Listen, they don't address the Latin American game enough. They never have. Never have. While other teams crush you on it. All right, and that's an indictment. So listen, we could do a whole show on indictments, but I don't want to go that route too much. But it is what it is. I mean, what are we supposed to do when we come out and things we're worried about become that glaring?
Listen, and like you said, and that's what when you have a veteran like Girardi and Brian Price, you they're not going to wait around long, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like they understand. Obviously, this is 60 games. You know what I mean? So you can't be as patient as you would in a 162 marathon. You know what I mean? So we expect to see guys, possibly like a Morales, a Medina. De Los Santos, these minor league guys that are your top prospects. It's like, hey, now it's time to sharpen your teeth, right? Because I'm not going to keep looking at these tomato cans. Now, they might not be the answer either, but I can't. I'm just not going to do it. You know what I mean? And who would think that the second series of the year might be? Look how huge this second series of the year is. All right, 60 games or not, this is a monster fucking series. It's a 4-game set where if you get rolled and there's no competitiveness, and all of a sudden you're 1-6 with the Blue Jays rolling in, you know, I mean, not to, you know what I'm saying, but still, you know, we're talking another team that swings it, you know what I mean?
But why would we overlook the Blue Jays when we came and beat the Marlins?
Yeah. So it's just like,
you know what's funny? You know, when you talk about like Medina and the other arms down there, right, that we were talking about earlier, and I always circle back to this, and there's a reason why bad GMs don't do it. They're scared to be exposed. They're scared to bring up some of these guys, and then when they prove they can't pitch at this level, now some of the guys that they might want to move for guys or value, they get scared to do it because these guys come up, they get exposed because they're either one not ready or two not good enough. And I'll probably go with number 2 if it's a Matt Klintak guy.
Yeah, no question about it.
Again, it's just all about, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're always dancing through raindrops. You know, you get to a point when you're tired of it. I understand there's a business side of it, and they have to do things, you know, as a GM and an owner and stuff where, you're trying to, save guys' eligibility. I understand it, but there's a time when that should go away. You know what I mean? When you're a big market and you're looking, and you have high expectations, new manager, stick a deep lineup, and 5 of your 10 prospects or pitchers, 5 of your top 10 prospects are arms, right? And like, so why, just because you got to break camp, why are we looking at these guys? You know what I mean? So
I have no idea. I want to know who's making the calls, right? That's why I really question, and I'm still going to question it for a minute on who's making the final roster calls, because I can't believe that'd be Joe Girardi's final decisions on this roster. So I think there's going to be a butt heads going on here until Matt Klintak's gone, because no legitimate baseball guy would sit there and be like, like Robin said, Storen is Rivera compared to the crap I watched today. Tough to watch. And he's right. And it's like, well, Joe Girardi can't literally sit there and be like, yeah, I'm good with these guys over those names. There's no way, unless it comes down to this or thinking I'm the smartest guy in the room, like I believe Matt Klintak thinks about himself. Just listen to the way a guy talks one time. I can tell you, that guy thinks he's pretty smart, and he's probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, and I think Girardi's already come out and said Velasquez will at least make his next start next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So
I don't know,
or whenever it starts. Not Tuesday, but his next start in the rotation.
Competitor, or he gets his next start. What's worse?
I don't know. It'll be worse. It'll be Friday against the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
There's a sevener. There's a 7-piece. Then they got a home place to play. They'll come in here and probably sweep our asses. This is going to be fun. This is only the beginning.
And you look back at today, you get those big 4 runs in the first. Bryce finally squares something up, right? It's an absolute seed. And then you come back in the second with that 1. So you could have been up 5-0, 5-1 had Vinny come out in the second inning and actually, not through pus and missed bats. But when you don't have that shutdown inning, especially early, as we saw Friday night, we let these guys hang around in the game, and they obviously then took it over, right? We let them off the hook Friday with, not coming through all those walks. They walked 75 batters on Friday night, and we could only score 1 run. We could get that hit, right?
Is he not concerned with the pitching, or is he not concerned with the start?
Probably the poll. The Phillies' early struggles. I know I am. Greg, you are, right?
Yep.
I
assume you are too. I mean, everything we've sort of said.
Yeah, no, I mean, it wasn't pretty. You know what I mean? Like I said, listen, you still, you got to play the games. You know what I mean? So we always say that. Listen, Marlins play the Phillies well, and not a yada yada yada, whatever. It's a new season. You understand the importance of every single game. So, it just can't. You just can't have to. You know what I mean? You can't lose a series. You know what I mean? So you don't necessarily have to sweep. You just can't lose a series. You know what I mean? So, you rolled your ace out there on Friday night. He wasn't sharp. All right. He leaves an 0-2 breaking ball in the middle of the plate, and he rolls a breaking ball up there 0-2, and next it's 3-1, and they obviously don't hit. Alcantara pitched his ass off. You know what I mean? So listen, that day's over. There was no concern there. You know what I mean? Except for, like Greg said, first guy out of the pen was hey, listen, at least he was 98, but it was like we were like, hey, this guy can't hit the broadside of a barn. You know what I mean? He was like, he took the heat bad, so, and he came back yesterday and Wheeler did his thing and pitched. I mean, they swung it, and Gosselin and Didi, and it sets you up for a huge day today. And then you get 4 in the first, of a series clinching game. And
you're like, let's go.
Yeah. And Velasquez comes out in the top of the second and is absolute horseshit, and he doesn't even get it. He doesn't get past 3. Not only is he horse, we already know he's horseshit. He can't even give you any length. Because you're like, hey, I got to get him the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Cole Irvin, who shit in his shorts too.
It's amazing because you get the alert 4-0 like when I was driving home, and I'm like, oh, nice. You know what I mean? Here we go. Okay. Like I said, a great response, right? And that's all you're looking for. Right? Okay, you come take 2 out of 3. We're feeling better about ourselves.
Right.
It's some issues that we see, but it's okay. It's all about winning. It doesn't matter how I get dubs. I don't care how I get to a locker room. W's carry good chemistry. W's carry can overshadow some selfishness maybe at times. Like winning cures a lot of shit that losing, comes right out in the limelight with, right? And that's why it's so important early on, and especially in a sprint like this, right? To get off to that good start, right? Like, okay, you lost game 1 to Miami. You come back, you win last night. Today's a must. Today's a must. And to get that kind of effort out of Vince Velasquez, and to get that kind of effort out of your bullpen, that's just not good enough, man. You're not playing. You're not playing. This isn't even the Yankees. This isn't the Yankees lineup. This isn't a legitimate, scary Major League Baseball lineup that rolled through Citizens Bank Park this weekend.
No. I mean, Miguel Rojas killed the Phillies. He was 7 for 9, 7 for 9.
And it's not even like today. You would think going into it, we had the pitching matchup on our side, right? Even though we all know Vinny stinks, he was going up against Robert Duger.
Yeah,
it wasn't like he faced their ace. You know what I mean?
The other guy got scratched.
He faced some Tubbleard as well, and it's like you couldn't even beat that.
And you can't outpitch him. You can't outpitch him. Then we're the Marlins. Then that's who we are. That's what the rest of our staff is. It's worse than the Marlins. The rest of our staff, outside of the whole Wheeler, the rest of our staff is the Marlins. Now we're gonna see who Zach Eflin is, right? We're gonna see who Jake Arrieta is at this point in his career. We're gonna find that out real soon because they ain't pitching against Little Sisters of the Poor rolling through. All right, you know what I mean? Here they come. So it's gonna get exposed real quick if guys aren't locating this week.
Scorpio, we're with you about the manager and obviously Didi, but it's not a long season anymore. I mean, I know, it's just, like I said, not after the first weekend. We're not necessarily, hitting the panic button, of course. You don't do that, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's a long season. It's, everything's 60 will be on top of you. 2 months, 60 and 60, it'll be on top of you quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
not playing good baseball and things become panic button talk.
And think about it this way, right? We got Arrieta Happ tomorrow, and then you got Eflin versus Cole. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You mess around, you mess around. You mess around, and you're 2-8. I mean, like you can't, row.
Yep.
Can't run from that.
No.
I mean, listen, Scorpio, I would love to be a sleeper team, but I don't think that. I don't know how that works with these kind of arms. I just don't know.
I guess we just have to hope. Obviously, I mean, that's all we can do at this point because there's no names back there, as we already said, we could trust. You just hope that they find their groove and they start getting out. But when's that going to happen?
Yeah,
is that going to happen against the Yankees?
Especially. Well, no, absolutely, you're 100% right. Especially in crunch time. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, you got 2 good innings yesterday in a 7-1 game. After Wheeler did his thing, he was absolute nails. And then and you hand the ball to Tommy Hunter, of course, a nice clean 8th, and Gare a clean 9th because there was no pressure cooker.
Right? Yeah, no pressure. Yep.
That's the other thing. You know what I mean? Like it's easier to pitch in a lopsided game than it is when your asshole's tight. You know what I mean?
No, absolutely.
Especially when you're a nobody.
And especially when they're all rookies. To your point, they're all kids.
Yeah, I mean, I got to pitch. I'm pitching in a big league game. Almost, I don't want to say rush the pitch, but like every other guy, I mean, thrown right back into it. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. And of course, now you got to see
everything was quick. Everything was, hey, hope you were throwing on the side because we're rolling. So,
and of course,
that's what it was. So you're it's a double whammy. It's a double-edged sword because not only you didn't keep your veterans that you probably should have kept because you just assumed just the seasoning would help them, right? Overall, you went with the younger guys, so you get hit twice with that, in my opinion. You really do. Inexperience kills you, and
And of course, now you got to see a healthy, hot Stanton. You know what I mean? Like in 2 weeks, Stanton will be hurt. All right, but now 4, 5, 6, and 7 games in, he's locked the hell in. You know what I mean? Like, you got to see him, and that's a scary lineup. You know what I mean? So, and they didn't exactly tear the cover off the ball. This weekend, first time out. Nationals have obviously good pitching, except for Strasburg got scratched, but still, they're coming into town a little bit, as an angry lineup, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't know when Chapman's due back. You know what I mean? Because I don't know. Did he get it like 2 weeks before the season? I thought he was. A while ago. I mean, he might be close.
He's close, but
yeah, he was gonna say he's close. I don't know if he'd be ready for now. I'm just saying. Britton's not the same guy, you know what I mean? So if we can, Britton can be had. He's not the same guy, you know what I mean? Obviously, the Phils would love to have him in their pen, but he's not the same. He's not the same dude, you know what I mean? So
remember them shows?
If they can keep some games close, they might be able to steal some. Yeah.
Them shows were fun. Oh, Zach Britton, Manny Machado. Can we make that deal? Oh no. Brink, I mean, I'm relaxed. I mean, but I'm not saying I'm hitting the button. But the button, my hand's close to it. I mean,
we took the safety off the button. Now we took the safety off the button. We're not hitting it yet, but we flipped the safety switch.
Yeah, it's ready.
The safety switch though.
We're ready to hit the nuke. We're ready to let the nuke fire.
Is there talking about the chat, or is he talking about in here? I don't remember anybody really.
I don't know. He might be talking about the chat.
No, I was just an honest question because normally, like I said, Greg's one of the most negative guys on the planet. And I don't even see he's not even jumping out. You know what I mean? He's 3 games in. He would love to jump out, but he's not.
I mean, listen, I'm more jumping out than anybody.
Tommy's he's a homer. I mean, he's got eyes, but so he ain't going.
I'll rip like I did tonight.
Yeah.
I'll rip. I'm not preseason predictions are always fun and cute and rainbows and sunshines. We could be predicting. Sorry, we could be predicting the Detroit Tigers, and I'll tell you ways they can win somehow. Right? All right, but and then guess what? And then the Marlins come in and it's the same old story. I'm going to tell you what's not good enough. All right, and again, like I said about this fan base gets all caught up into the bullshit. They get caught up into the cute shit. I care about production and winning games. Right? My star comes out. It's a big-time homer in the first here, right, to get us off to a lead that we desperately needed, and then the same old story, right, from then on out. But again, a lineup that didn't capitalize in big situations either. So, I mean, the blame goes all around for not getting it done this series.
Yeah, of course.
So Chapman produced his first negative testing. I'm looking up right now to see how much. I think it's good. What he got produced 2 or 3 in consecutive days to be allowed to be put back in.
I don't know. Major League Baseball doesn't know. The Miami Marlins.
That's what I'm looking at.
Miami Marlins are staying in Philly again tonight because they don't know. Major League Baseball doesn't know how they're going to travel and what's up for their next game. I mean, listen, they're already off to a bad start with this Major League Baseball sport that we all thought, distance-wise to get it done, not looking good because guys are falling like crazy, and we just got this thing rolling. So I'm interested. I mean, a lot of people were already saying this season might not. This is people's opinions on here. Like Anthony, Vire is going to end the season. I hope not. But I mean, there's guys. A little bit too many. So we're going to see Major League Baseball's got to speed up their process and how they're going to bubble off guys. You know what I mean?
Well, like we talked about the other day with the whole Soto thing. That's why, to me, I don't have any answers. It's not about being on one side or the other. It was just a normal question that I asked both of you guys, or like I don't have any answers. Like how did what I mean? Like Soto was there all camp. He was just played the Tuesday, and then Wednesday morning it was like he popped a positive test. It's like he was around all those dudes. You know what I mean? So it's just like I know, like I said, it's just a crapshoot. And like you said, which Marlins were these Marlins guys around their guys? It's just. It's the whole thing.
Did the Yankees want to come here and use the locker room of a?
We're tired. We're tired of talking about it.
Yeah, like 24 hours later.
Yeah, we're tired of talking about it. We're tired of talking about it ad nauseum, and we were just happy that sports were back. But it's the reality is, we don't. Who knows, man? It's nuts. It's nuts.
Yeah, I mean basketball to me, like I said, basketball will get it done because they're all bubbled off. So basketball, once they keep going to strip clubs. Basketball will make it happen, in my opinion, because they're bubbled. And the NBA, leading the way, did it right. It's hard to bubble baseball.
A lot of good food. A lot of good food they serve at strip clubs, huh? That's what.
Yeah, the buffets are top notch.
Lou will say he's going to keep picking up food. Yeah, big tacos, Lou. Picking up some big tacos, buddy.
Big fish tacos.
There you go.
TTP. I mean, the catcher, pitching coach. I mean, they're the ones who usually call pitches combo. It's a combo. Usually, I'm sure they let them go to certain guys. They got a game plan. And I'm sure there's probably sometimes where they're calling them themselves. I don't know exactly how the Phillies do it, but. Something similar to that. I'm sure JT.
He doesn't have, like I said, without being absolutely in there and 100% saying, I know this for a fact. I mean? Like JT doesn't have a wristband or anything like that. You never see JT peeking in. You know what I mean? So, Girardi's a catching guy. Most of those guys will let their guys go. And this is the big leagues. This isn't 12U baseball anymore. So, like Tommy said, there's a game plan. Different guys know, different guys have different stuff, and they're 24 hours before they're going to talk about the game plan, how they're going to attack these hitters and all that good stuff. But when the bell rings, it's JT's game. JT's going to, and then obviously the pitcher has an opportunity to shake him off and throw what he wants to throw. And then obviously if we're on the same page and you have a good rapport, you shouldn't have to shake off too much. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, it's not coming from there. You know what I mean? Like I said, this is big boy time. This is, you get paid a lot of money to be a big league catcher. The best in the bigs. It falls on him. You know what I mean? So now, listen, but that doesn't mean that like TP was saying, like he's not blaming JT, but it's definitely coming from him. Guys have to execute pitches with conviction. You know what I mean? You can't just follow along and just say, hey, listen, I'm going to take JT's hand and then I'll just roll this fucking shit up here. You know what I mean? Like you gotta throw your pitches with conviction. You know what I mean?
Noah's always pitched better with Knapp, honestly, and I just hate Knapp. I mean, Knapp's bat's so bad that you would like. For me, I would like to somehow get Knapp with Noah again because he just pitches better with him. I don't know why.
Listen, you're spot on. Obviously, first game out, it wouldn't be crazy. But with the DH now, Tom, you're spot on. There's a shot now. You know what I mean? JT, it doesn't. You don't have to lose JT. You know what I mean? Now you have Knapp hits, so that sucks. But you don't have. At least you're not losing your middle of the order guy. You know what I mean? If you want to go that route,
and then you take the bat, right? So you're like almost like the. It's like the Maddox kid. Maddox had all his catchers back in the day. None of them can hit, but it was like, well, that's his guy. None of them are Javi Lopez.
Listen, Eddie Perez stayed in the big leagues for a long time because of Maddox.
It wasn't Javi catching them back in the day. So you look like that. Like, I think it's hopefully Joe. I think it's time for Noah's not going to say a peep, but I think it's time for him to be like. I've been pitching with that guy for my whole career here in Philadelphia. When it comes to Knapp, that's not a shot at JT. It's just sometimes you just got a chemistry with a guy and you throw better to him. It just is what it is. He's always. I die to know his stats and his splits with Knapp behind the plate and every other catcher. I would like to know it because it feels like it's so much better. Feels like.
I hear you. I know. Yeah, no, you're right. And especially with Girardi, a guy who went through it. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't bet my life on it, but I think Girardi was like, was a Pettit guy. You know what I mean? Because they also had Leyritz back there. I mean, Joe G didn't play every day. It wasn't like Joe G wasn't a Hall of Famer. Joe G was a grinder and a backup guy. You know what I mean? For the most part. You know what I mean? Like, so he's a guy that gets it too. I mean, like from that, gets the position obviously. So he would understand it. But yeah, there comes a time where I mean, it might just have to, that has to be discussed. You know what I mean? So. I got news for you though. Like I said, the pitching was what it was. This next week is crucial, for a lot of guys. You know what I mean? Like, of course, Wilson isn't here, right? Jetpack is his guy, but this is now or never. This is now or never, Jetpack. It's feeble. Right? It's looking feeble. You know what I mean? So, I'm not going to just say, hey, you're going to insert Gosselin because, because he played well. You know what I mean? Certain guys come off the bench and they play well. You know what I mean? They become like the backup quarterback when everybody, he's getting a ton of ass.
Never talk about Harley like this.
You get a ton of ass, and you never pick up a check in the city. You know what I mean? So Phil's filling that role pretty good, I bet. You know what I mean? But guess what? There's a guy named Baum. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't play well, Gene can move over there, and then Bominator can play a little bit over there. Even though we know his defense is suspect, and is he ready to play third base at the big league level? Who knows? You know what I mean? But like to me, Jetpack, you don't get a free pass. You know what I mean? Like you said, they're out of excuses now. It was before the excuses before were like, well, he's playing 10 positions. You know what I mean? Like he's playing 10 positions, and like give the guy credit. His head must be all over the fucking place. I don't give a fuck if you're playing in the stands or you're fucking serving hot dogs. You know what I mean? You get in the box and you fucking have a plan, you have an approach, and you fucking barrel something up. Right? He's been feeble soup. 3 games, feeble fucking soup. I got no time for you, Jetpack, and I like Jetpack. You know what I mean? So, but it's now or never. You know what I mean? Like, it's a big week for him. You run into a 1 for 22, buddy. Have some pine. Grab some pine. Grab some pine.
Come have a seat, because I mean, listen,
you'll see Neil Walker out there too.
Just be careful.
900-year-old Neil Walker.
Yeah, that's the only thing I would ask Joe about today. Hey, Phil was 3 for 3 with two fucking ding dongs yesterday, dude. What's Neil playing for?
I just have a feeling they just set the first 3 games were probably just like already set in stone. It's like, just make sure the first weekend we're getting everybody at bats.
Scripted? You know first 15 plays are scripted?
First 15 plays are scripted.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of that bullshit either.
Probably with lineup card from the year before. They just left his own.
It looks like Chapman's got to produce 2 negative tests.
Right,
so he's already done 1. So I don't know if it's consecutive days or if they have to wait a few days or whatever, but it's 2 negatives in a row.
To answer Brink's question, I don't like it, but I mean, obviously baseball is different now. So some people like it. They go by on-base percentage, whatever, yada, yada, yada. I don't like it. I like if you're one of our dudes, if you're supposed to be a dude, you hit in the middle of the lineup. You know what I mean? 2-hole is for a guy that handles the bat. Like Greg was saying on opening day, he would have liked, maybe Gene there if you were going to do that. You know what I mean? So, whatever, but I don't like it. So that's my opinion. It doesn't mean that
I don't like it.
I don't like it. You know what I mean? If I want a guy that's, we're in 60 games now, what we're talking about, if this was like a full season, if you're talking about one of your dudes that's a 30 and 100 guy, he should be in the middle of your lineup, not in the 2. That's just the way, that's the way I look at things.
Yeah, I don't even think he's good enough anywhere in the lineup, but maybe the 2 holes better for him because he sees so many pitches and isn't as aggressive as a lot of guys. I mean, maybe that's the only reason I can wrap the 2-hole in his brain, because maybe when he's batting in the middle lineup where the press comes and he swings it more shit outside the zone. It looks like he's definitely more patient in that spot, but I mean,
you're right. Your point, I mean, 3 walks today. 3 walks today. So I mean, it was on base. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
you can't.
I'm with you both. Like I understand why Joe might be doing it. The walks, just seeing the pitches. You want to get him going early, but he's not going. All he's doing is walking. You know what I mean? Now, granted, you walk 7 times in a weekend in front of Bryce. That's usually a good recipe, right? In front of Bryce and JT. But I want someone to hit the ball. I want, especially Reese. You're right, Tommy. If he's the guy, and Sweeps, you said it too. Like if he's the guy, we want him in the middle of the lineup driving baseballs, not watching the waiting for a walk.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like you said, if he switched, like I said, I'm hindsight. It's easy to say after the game about switching people, but let's just say that, that Gene was up higher and Reese was in, let's say Reese was in the 5 or 6. If Reese was in that spot today, I don't know if he's going to come and produce, but at least to your point, he's in the spot where you want him. Bases loaded in a crucial part of the game where a guy can lose a ball. You know what I mean? Like you expect a better effort out of Gene too. You know what I mean? He swung the ball over his above his hands and he popped it up. But you know what I mean? That's where that's the production you want out of Reese. You want Reese to walk 3 times a game, then good for you. If that's how you value your lineup, right? Not me.
Yeah.
If we're gonna pay him or we're gonna keep him around because he's not very good at he's not a good defender. So if you're gonna keep if Reese is gonna be around, if he's gonna be part of the future, he's got to be a thumper.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a speed guy getting on base all the time, this guy's paid or will be paid to drive the baseball, right? And until he's doing that consistently, the Rob point, I mean, he doesn't rank high up in first base standards to me in the National League. You know what I mean? Not unless he's driving, 40 over 162. I mean, he doesn't rank all the way up there with me. He's been inconsistent. He'll go through stretches where he gets hot. I mean, I know that's every guy. But his lows are way too low. So, I mean, to me, that's my biggest issue with him. And maybe he's a guy, like I said, maybe he's a presser too much in the middle of the lineup. Maybe. I don't know. Because, I mean, I think time will tell. I mean, these 60 games will sort of tell where he's at moving forward. But he's another unknown to me. I don't know. I still see the same issues, the same dropping into the hands. He had a pop up in the infield yesterday. Must have went 800 feet in the air. Okay, so I mean, in the infield. So, bro, how bad are you dropping, dude? Like, how bad are you dropping still? All these adjustments. What adjustments were really made? I heard a lot of stuff this all season. Right? It was a Rendon adjustment. Then he went back. Well, if you don't, then you didn't make an adjustment. Then you just went back to what you were comfortable with, and then you tried saying, "Well, it's a combo of the two." Bro, what? What now? It's just too much. Go hit a baseball, please. Go hit a baseball. Keep your hands above a baseball and go hit a baseball just one time. One time. That's it. Maybe more than once because that's all he did last year. So maybe 2 times. But it's just like you can't tell me about all these adjustments and then tell me you met in the middle somewhere. Like, what is it, dude? It took you this long to find a comfortability level. I don't know. Maybe it's just
you're both right, and it's not like he's a Gold Glove first baseman to where you'll live with it because he flat out picks it over there and flat out D's it up. He's average at best. Yeah.
I bet there's balls that I think I can still scoop. You know what I mean? Like that he can't.
I know I could.
This guy, you can't drive a ball. You can't pick a ball there. What are you doing? You're walking. Roman Quinn can walk. You know what I'm saying? Let me put Roman at first then. He can walk. Like he can grow up. You know what I mean?
At least he can steal second and third.
Yeah. Nice. Maybe get a run out of him. But no, I agree with Rob about
for that. I'll take Bob walking. Like at least we get to see what Bob might be. We kind of starting to maybe see what Reese is. Maybe I know it's early, but
yeah, I know we don't know exactly.
Well, there's a lot of softness in that tank. To me, but Brinks. I think Hazley's going to be playing a lot now. I mean, I think when you come in, you get 4 hits. It makes it hard not to play.
Yeah,
it's hard not to play. And there's one of them picks that you love to pan out. And
you said, Tommy, top 10, right? He was number 7 overall. He's got to pan out.
Got to pan out. Today's a good.
Yeah. You took like 50 outfielders, so you would hope you'd stick one of them. I mean, that's back to that's back to your Clintac talk. You know what I mean? Like you're such a freaking Ivy League fucking jagoff, right? So you would hope that you would stick one of those 10 outfielders that you took.
Well, hold on. How many shortstops did he draft and move to the outfield? I mean, there's at least 2 of them. So I mean, this guy's like an outfield junkie. I mean, one time, honey, one time. You should have to take You should have to take a fucking outfielder ever again for at least another 7 years. When your number 1 pick in the draft was an outfielder, you shouldn't have to fucking take one, hon. You can afford outfielders for fucking 6 to 7 more years. If Hit
yeah.
that one.
And like I said, you can go through every draft and do that. You know what I mean? But like we said it at the time. Like, what are you doing? A high school outfielder? I mean, unless you're talking about Griffey or Griffey, Bryce, Chipper, guys that you were game changers. You know what I mean? Like, you wait on the high school guy. You know what I mean? Like, you got AJ Puck went like 6 or 7 that year. You know what I mean? He looked pretty good on the staff right now, wouldn't he?
And like Cornelius Randolph, he was a 10.
Lefty.
He was a number 10 pick.
Yeah, Randolph was a 10. But you know what else they did, guys? They moved them. When Moniak, like, you just look at the body and say, oh, dude, that's not big. That's not even close to big league ready yet.
Yeah, it's like a Ritz cracker. I know.
Well, especially you look at Moniak.
Hey, man, you only eat Ritz crackers, dude? Like, hang out with Uncle Sweeps for a weekend, bro. I'll put on.
The great thing about Moniak is they went Moniak because they wanted to go cheap to load up for the pitcher they took in the second round, who's been hurt his whole time and hasn't even seen the minors.
And who
So they
was?
both worked that well. I forget the kid's name. I'm going to look it up.
Like I said, it's just,
He was a pitcher out of college. They knew they were going to have to overpay him, so that's why they kind of went low ball with Mickey. And then I just got to figure out who it is.
I'll tell you one thing. TTP is like Roman. I think Roman too, but if McCutcheon don't hit, his ass better be careful too. This is a sprint. You know what I mean? You go watch some swings of McCutcheon. The first 2 days of the year. I mean, you want to talk about pull off city? I mean, God. So I mean, he looked like a guy who hasn't swung in 2 years. Almost. So you gotta hope he can get right and get going a little bit, especially guys at the top of your order. So there's a lot of things that are some like now McCutcheon's a vet, and again, you think vets like that they'll put it together, but
he's hit balls hard though.
He hit one ball hard. I know he hit one ball hard.
A couple hard at least Friday, and so like you're right though. To your point though. When he hasn't hit him hard, he is pull off central. But you're right, he is a vet. I think he'll work him out.
I thought I was watching Mikkel.
Kevin Gowdy. Kevin Gowdy.
Exactly.
What was the pitcher?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Who for what?
Whose kid was that, Matt? Who did you a favor on that one for? You're saving money to draft him in the second round. Who'd you owe a favor to, buddy? All right. Who pays some of your tuition to that Ivy?
Gowdy pitched just 9 innings in the Gulf Coast League before he got hurt.
Until he went to the California Penal League.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. It is what it is. So listen, a little 10-9-8, and then we'll get into our crumb of the week. Obviously, won't be as long as one as usual, but we got to come on with you. Nothing really.
Wilson's not here interrupting everybody every 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's always a blessing.
It's a smooth hour and a half. we're on the friendship ship. Yeah.
So Joel Embiid calf strain today. I mean, it's nothing, man. I know people are like, there's panic all over, and I don't want to say it's nothing because the guy's always got a little something. He's always in the news, and sometimes not in the way you want him in the news. So it's not nothing, but it's not also not panic. Like, we didn't tear an ACL here. So
yeah.
I know Palatero was saying he's out of shape. Here we go with the out of shape. It's a calf strain. I mean, I would slow down on the out of shape, but I'm not saying he's in shape. I'm just saying I wouldn't rush to the out of shape judgment. Fair, I get you, but it is what it is. I mean, they said day to day, nothing major. Whatever. Some guys got some more run today in a practice. Essentially, all it was. So he'll be fine. They'll be ready to go. And everything gets started. I mean, when the Sixers open, Friday or Saturday?
The first, whatever day that is. What is that? Friday?
Saturday.
It's Saturday. Yeah, they open up Saturday.
That's what I thought it was. Okay. So they open up
I think the Lakers and Clippers either they play each other or they play separately, but they play Friday night.
Sixers, Pacers, Saturday, good call. Thursday, there's Jazz, Pelicans, of course, right out of the chute, and Clippers, Lakers. Yep,
Thursday, yeah. So the Sixers, they got to wait to get rolling, but we'll get rolling. And we'll be on Wednesday night to talk talk about it a little bit as well. But I'm not worried about. Listen, I mean, Rob's worried about shaking the turnovers. I mean, listen, that's what you're going to get. I mean, at times, I'm not overly worried about this at all. I mean, I think this basketball team is going to be totally fine. I'm going to stick to that. You know, I think Joel Embiid is going to be fine. I'm not worried about any of this stuff right now. So I think they're in great shape here. You know, Ben did what we wanted him to do. I don't know if he shot the ball today at all beyond the arc. I wasn't able to catch today's game, but I know obviously the other day, you know, he showed some of that stretch a little bit that we were talking about, and the confidence to be able to pull it. So, not sure if he shot it today. If anybody knows that, let me know.
I did not see anything.
I didn't say. I'll look it up though.
I know TTP. He's in the house. He'll know.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm not reading too much into these scrimmages because they're exactly that. They're scrimmages. Yeah. I think when you get into a full-fledged game situation, I don't think if Shake is having turnover issues, that's why you go out and you trade for an Alec Burks, or that's why you have a veteran in, and I'm not a fan of him, but that's why you have a Raul Neto on the bench. Like, these guys don't turn the ball over. So if Shake is having issues, then you just take him out of the game, and that's why you go trade for Alec Burks.
Yep. No, well said, brother. And, TTB says no, he didn't shoot today. That's fine. Doesn't need to shoot it every time, but it was good to see it, right? It was good to see the pool.
There's two of them. The first one was just patented the other night, was just patented, just dribble out from the corner and pass it out, and he went back. That was the one that was more surprising to me because he was almost essentially off the dribble. You know what I mean? Where we've seen him in that situation before, and he pulled it. And, yeah, he didn't make it, but at that point it didn't matter to me. It was, as you said, Tom, the confidence to go ahead. Oh, my God, the Giants are ooh. Just let that fly ball drop. Oh, my God, I love it.
Big fan when you got the
I love it.
Not that's a hard pick, but
yeah.
It is on the money line going here. Tough L.
Yeah, it was a big money line.
Tough to take. Gabe will probably shove it up my ass somehow tonight.
Typical Gabe. Smiley came out of the pen the other day. Now tonight he's starting.
Now he's starting. That ball hung up there forever.
Nobody gets to that ball. Dude, I flip
it's so ridiculous.
I'm coming out of a big league game and I might call the outfielders in too. Just ask them if
Everybody in. Everybody in.
Yeah, it happened the other day. I'm a big fan of it. If you don't want to get locked in, then I'll embarrass every one of you and we'll get locked in. You know what I mean? Well, you guys, everybody here today? You let that ball hang up? This is big league baseball. That ball just sits there for 2 days.
Especially when Grandpa is Yaz. I mean, come on, you got, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
I would have went and caught that ball. That's how bad when your manager might catch that ball over you. Like, that's a problem.
I mean, if my grandpa Yaz, I run right through the center fielder. I run right through him. I don't care if he gets absolutely Irish sickles me. All right, I run right through him. I catch it with no head, and I say, Gramps, I got that, buddy. I got it. Triple Crown winner, one of the best of all time. All right, I can't believe that ball dropped in. I embarrassed you. Sorry.
Darren Ruff playing first base, by the way. Where in the world is Darren Ruff?
Probably.
In RBI.
No, he is.
Yeah, an RBI. He had an RBI and hit the other night, and then he K'd twice. So typical. They'll pile up on him. It ain't Japan, baby. It ain't Japan. They'll start to pile up.
No, but I'm excited for the Sixers. I'm super excited. I like the mindset from Ben. If it took this being in quarantine and seeing the mental doc that coming out and he said, and this is the mental change that he's had. As I said a couple weeks ago, it seemed like his mental approach had changed coming out of this restart, being healthy and all that. So, I'm really excited.
What's wrong, Rob? What's wrong, Rob? No one reads into the scrimmages, but the people are shocked when the same issues surface when the bright lights are on. Well, there's no bright lights. It's scrimmages. The fucking bubble. There's no bright lights in the bubble. Okay? It's a goddamn bubble. Where are the bright lights? All right? I mean, there's nothing going on yet. It's literally a scrimmage. So what surface that's so bad? I mean, I thought this group, when they all played together the other night, was a Palmsy group in just a scrimmage. They got after it defensively in a scrimmage. At least, I mean, that's what I watched the first game. Right? I thought they were aggressive, and I didn't watch today, so I don't know. I mean, I know they had a lead, whatever. I mean, Joe didn't play. If Joe don't play, if Joe or Ben don't play, I look at everything differently. I know I know that's not a fair argument, but that's just how I always have looked at it. when it comes to the Sixers. One of them two missing, especially Joe, who's your production guy. I always expect a little bit of a drop off, but it's a freaking scrimmage. Like, you know what I mean? The bright lights are the playoffs. Well, the playoffs aren't here yet, Rob. We got to play 8 regular season games still. We didn't get to the regular season yet. Okay, so look at you, Uncle Negative. We didn't even get going here. We didn't get going. You're out of the bubble already. You're worse than Lou. You already jumped the bubble. All right. Oh, this is all good things. Good. He's back. Let's go.
He's back.
Good to have you. Glad you can make it.
Totally redeem yourself.
Doesn't happen too often with him. TTP says, I'm not worried about the bench. Come playoffs, Matisse, Horford, and some Burks is pretty much all we'll see. I think Horford's going to perform a lot better at the center spot. Backing Joel, I agree with that too. So it becomes his second.
I think Corky's going to play too. I don't know if we're going to go just 8 deep. You know what I mean? I would imagine.
Now, Corky and Robinson to me are going to play. So I don't, I think they're all going to get some run. There's enough guys who can score basketball. I think you might have a little deeper bench. We'll see, though. I think he's going to really determine how guys perform over these 8 games, too. That's going to be a big part of it, too. I think there could be, because they could have nothing to lose over these 8 games. I think you're going to see a lot of different lineups, different second units that come in. So I think Brett, and he should, sort of gauge it again, because this is round 2 now. It's a restart here. Well, let's see. Some guys might come out hot. So I think they're going to do a lot of riding on hot hand off the bench too, whoever that may be. If it's Robinson one night, Burks one night, Corky one night, Al's obviously always going to play. So
far, I haven't watched a whole ton of them, but so far what I have watched, it seems like our shooters their shots are there right now. So that's always nice. It's not like we were in your NCAA tournament, you're playing in now an arena versus where a football stadium instead of an arena, you have the depth perception of no fans and stuff like that. But it seems like they've made the adjustment shooting wise to where so far they've been there.
Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, this is the NBA, man. People can say what they want about the core. I would guarantee that backdrop, right? Your shooting backdrop is crystal clear. You know what I'm saying? Crystal clear. Like that. It's easier than shooting in an arena this packed. You know what I'm saying?
I haven't seen anything yet either, but to Brinks' point, I would agree with that 1,000%. You know what I mean? Like Jay Rich is a slasher, a guy that can get to the rim. You know what I mean? So he should not be just out there hoisting threes. You know what I mean? It seems to be like a Brett Brown thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, if you're open, we'd like you to knock down a shot. Go ahead, but I didn't see anything. But it sounds like Brinks was saying he's just back there hoisting. You know what I mean? Like so hopefully, like I said, he's just maybe just working on some things or whatever. You know what I mean? He doesn't think he's trying to put that in his every game arsenal. You know what I mean? Because he's definitely he's a guy that he's a slasher and needs to get to the hole and create some havoc that way,
Sure.
No, absolutely. And listen, his biggest impact comes on the defense end to me for this basketball team. And as long as he's pumpy like he was the first night I watched him, he was up in stuff. So it was good to see. I'll go back to that game. I thought they really came out with the energy and effort, even though it was a scrimmage and they got after it, which was nice to see. So, Tobias talks about this team bonding over this bubble time and getting time to spend more time with each other and how important, Tobias made for this to happen in a leadership role. I'd like to see, I also like no headband Tobias. Maybe that guy won't disappear in the playoffs. So, I like the health of this team. I like the direction of this team. I'm going to stand by that. I think this team's going to make a little noise. How much noise? I don't know. I don't know. But I think they got what it takes to be an Eastern Conference Finals team. Talent alone. So, hey, can Brett coach the best X amount of games of his life coming up here, right? To save his job, right? Can Joel Embiid, be healthy? They're the question marks for me. I mean, Ben Simmons is a freak. So, I think he's going to come perform no matter where you put him on the court. He's going to make guys around him better. He's going to get guys easy looks. Just who he is. I mean, I know we're critical of him. We're critical of aggression sometimes. and all them things. But the guy's a specimen, man. So I mean, it's about guys hitting open shots because he's going to get you the looks. So we're going to see. Tobias Harris, listen. All the conversation on who should have been kept, you or Jimmy Butler, can go over your way real quick. You helped carry this team to an NBA Finals, not win it, but just get there. Like that conversation goes away real quick.
Especially if you go through Miami, which it projects that we have to.
Yep, it goes away real quick on who you should have kept. The younger guy, right? We all love Jimmy and the dog in him, but the bias. Hey, one restart playoff can change that whole narrative real quick.
That's definitely looking like where we're headed to, because it looks like the Pacers a little banged up. Sabonis looks to be done for the year.
That's great for us, tough for them.
Yeah, that's an absolute killer for them. You know what I mean? He was their guy all year prior to the shutdown, and like I said, Oladipo's he coming back a little bit, but they didn't play well with him, so we'll see how that goes. But Sabonis, that's an absolute killer for them. So it's looking like that we'll move up and getting that 4 or 5 spot, and it'll be the Heat. So we'll see.
The other thing, real quick, just touching back on J. Rich for a second.
Yeah,
he was hurt. Remember, coming into the shutdown, so he's just getting himself back into game shape, right? Just I know everybody else is, but he's coming back off an injury. So if he's jacking threes in scrimmage, I'm okay, because I think he's still trying to feel himself out to try and get himself back to where he's at or where he wants to be.
Fair as shit, Greg. You know what I mean? Fair. Like, let me jack a couple, see if I make some.
Yeah, see if I can.
I said without seeing the game, I'm just like I said, I'm just going by. What
I
don't know if it was a couple or it was just he's pulling a Philip Seymour and just saying let it rain, and he just throwing up chocolate bars. I don't having not seen it, I don't know what was going on. But I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's why we were really excited, is because prior to the shutdown, we were as banged up as anybody around. You know what I mean? Like, it was one and done. You know what I mean? Had we, had stayed the way it was. You know what I mean? If you're talking no Ben, JoJo's got a thumb thing going on.
Jay Rich.
Yeah, Jay Rich. You know what I mean? So
we stunk.
Yeah, exactly. Flat out stunk. So
weren't good enough. I mean, we're going to rely on Alec Burks to take us to an NBA Finals. You know what I mean? Baby big dog. You know what I mean? Baby big dog. Was and the likes of Furkan, we're gonna have to carry us to an NBA Finals. Not the bias has to be the best player. Like, we weren't trying to be the Pistons. With the bias, like we were hoping that he could be our third best player, not our first. So a lot of things changed, and they got a second chance, and this second chance could save Brett Brown's job here in Philadelphia. And honestly, because I think talent prevails in this league and this roster is a lot better to me, that I think the talent's going to prevail and it's going to keep his job, because I think they're going to an Eastern Conference Finals. Now, further than that, I'm not even guaranteeing this. That's what I think. That's my feel. But further than that, I can't. I wouldn't say like, oh yeah, they're definitely going to NBA Finals.
Well, I tell you what, I mean, like, to your point, I mean, I agree with you, but if it's looking like we're falling into the 4 or 5, you know what I mean. So if we do get to the Eastern Conference Finals, that means we knocked off the big bad wolf. So then why can't we end up in the finals then?
Yeah,
true.
Right?
That'll be so us though. Like we take down the Bucks. We shoot our load in that series, and they come out and get swept into.
Yeah, they lose to the Celtics or the Raptors.
Yeah.
No, we wouldn't lose to the Celtics. We lose to the Raptors in 4.
Whoever comes out of the bottom, you know what I mean? So
they probably have 4 game winners that bounced around them fucking rims in Disney. You know what I mean? Like the spinners. What are they called? Toilet rollers. Whatever the hell they are. They'll spin around that rim like a fucking toilet flushing and go in. That's the kind of luck we would have.
We're excited and we're jazzed up about it. Like you said, you know what I mean? Like it's a breath of fresh air to get another opportunity, with your team, knock on wood, healthy, and staying out of strip clubs and staying out of crossing the line to get crossing the line to get a Big Mac or a titty, whatever, which both awesome things. I love Big Mac. I love titties. I'm not gonna hold anybody's feet in the fire for that. But in this bubble scenario, you know, what I mean, that's a no-go. That's a no-no. So, you know, we need to keep our guys
The
together.
wings at those places are top notch.
Yeah, I mean, we need to keep our guys. Yeah, we need to keep our guys together and see if we can, take a run at this. So it's, to me, it's, even though we knew, we always say like, hey, listen, we got to see it first, and we still mean that. It's not we're not buying into that, but it's, everything is different from 3 months ago. You know what I mean? And that goes for everybody. That goes for, the teams that were rolling to the teams that were, either stuck in mud, and the teams that were, injury, that were struck by, the injury bump. So, 3 months later is, this is, that's why they call it a restart. You know what I mean? So
who's left standing and who's in the
yeah, exactly. We'll see who's, who can figure it out, who can stay healthy, and who can play their best basketball for the next 2 months.
Real quick, Brink says about Tibbs to the Knicks, and my thoughts on it. RJ Barrett better be ready to play 38 minutes a night.
I was going to say he's already got ice on his knees, ready to go.
But they definitely got a culture changer in there. A guy who's gonna enforce defense, enforce playing a certain way.
I think that's a tremendous hire. I'm a huge Tibbs guy, so I mean, I love it. But we hate the Knicks, so. But I mean, it's one of those things where you'll see if it's if the dumpster fire continues, or like Tommy just said, is it a guy that's going to be able to change the culture? And we believe that everywhere he's. The 2 stops that he's been at prior to that, he's done that. Like he's done a good job with the Bulls, and then Minnesota was what it was. It wasn't. I don't think it was. I don't put that on him. It seemed that they had a lot of baby issues. Like some young guys that couldn't take Jimmy lighting their asses up, or just didn't want to buy in and play defense like Tibbs wants you to. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, as far as a coach, I love him as a coach. We'll see, but nothing will please make us happier just to watch the Knicks continue just to be an absolute shit show.
It definitely brings some legitimacy to their bench, right? As you alluded to, Leon Rose comes in there, is now starting to make some moves, and your first hire is Tibbs. It just brings a guy that's done it before, So as you try to start building around Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. Now you get a guy that at least guys, free agents can say, all right, at least this guy's done it before, as opposed to whoever else, the trash that they've tried to pull out there, right?
100%. That's it. And that's the same.
You can't lose that when you're the New York Knicks and you play at Madison Square Garden. You cannot continue to lose star players, regardless if you like Kyrie, dislike Kyrie, like KD, dislike KD, doesn't really matter. Right, you cannot continue to lose out on star talent. And as much as I love a guy like Julius Randle, end up with Julius Randle, right?
Right.
So that's not the way it can work in New York. It won't fly. It won't continue to fly. Ownership's a flat-out disgrace. We know this. That's not going to change until either Knicks fans run them out, or the time just ends, right? But at the end of the day. Like that's what last year was for them, right? Because they didn't have the coach in place to be able to draw it. Your owner's a piece of shit. They're probably 95% of the players probably, seen his act, right, and don't like his act or heard stories, right? It's either Charles Oakley, or that's how you treat old players, whatever the case may be, right?
Like Lee.
Yeah, so now you don't have a coach. I'm even doing this before Spike. That happened this year. We're just going. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
like another nail in the coffin of James Dolan, right? But the bigger thing is you can't lose a guy like that. You have your eyes set on like Kevin Durant to the Brooklyn Nets, and end up with Julius Randle.
And like I said, that starts with culture. You know what I mean? And it starts with, like I said, at some point, if you were a Knicks fan, you just hope that Dolan just has absolutely run out of town. You know what I mean? Because it starts at the top. You know what I mean? So that's why we giggle about it. Because we hate the Knicks. You know what I mean? But that's a storied franchise. You know what I mean? And nobody comes back, and that just goes to show you what kind of owner you are and what kind of dumpster fire you become when there's no alumni guys. Nobody's coming through that door. You know what I mean? Where when you got something in place, those guys come back.
Bring Iverson back enough.
They give back. They come back and they give back, and they'll show up at practice, and you'll say, "Hey, yo, come and work with my big guys." Oh yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Listen, Sweepsy, the Sixers can't roll Iverson out enough. They overroll him out. You know what I mean? Like the Sixers, overroll guys out. The Knicks, honestly, over the stretch from '90s to now, have a better history. Way more talents rolled through there, right? Than just Allen Iverson, right? As much as I love AI, we can't bring nobody back but him. I mean, they could bring teams back that maybe didn't get over the hump because they had to go against Jordan and all. But there's a lot of damn great players that play for them teams that should be welcomed back there with open arms. But the guy such a piece of shit doesn't get it. So I mean, that is what it is. That's not going to change. But Thibodeau can help change that culture. It's almost like Matt Quintak's a piece of shit. Okay, not good enough, a dork, a nerd, whatever the hell you want to call him. You hope Joe Girardi can change the culture of that, right? Or him not be there. Same thing here. Don ain't going nowhere until he gives up the franchise. But you hope that Leon Rose, and if you're a Knicks fan, and Tom Thibodeau are enough to send you sort of in the right direction, right?
No. Listen, absolutely spot on 100%. And I look at it a little bit the same similarities to the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're not going to talk about them on air, you know what I mean? But I'm a McCarthy guy. I thought that was a great hire. I don't want to hear Aaron Rodgers, you won with the greatest quarterback in the last 15 years. You won one time. That's fine. All right. It takes more than tango than that. You know what I mean? Like that could be your narrative. That's fine. All right. Chuck's wagon. I'm looking at you, buddy. I know you love the film and I love Chuck's. But Chuck's not a McCarthy guy. You don't have to be a McCarthy guy. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I thought, exactly. After the clapper, you bring some stability in. You know what I mean? But Jerry's still going to get in the way, and that's what you love.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect. That's the perfect recipe. You know what I mean?
At least Jerry's got rings to get in the way, right? Now, granted, his rings were because there was no salary cap and he can overpay for everything. But okay, and uses his oil money. At the end of the day, now granted, it was a long ass time ago. Dolan's got nothing to be a guy who gets in the way, right? At least Jerry's like delusional enough because he's won in the past to believe he still has it, right?
We can do it.
When he doesn't, but at least one guy's won something, a long time ago. The other guys want shit. Like, who the hell are you?
Jerry's like, pop that VHS in and us winning.
We have to videotape him on parade.
One more time. Just take me to the cul-de-sac house one more time. Stripper.
What's up, Tristan?
What up, Tris?
What's up, brother? Are you talking about Pat Croce, James? Croce is the goat, man. And that's that guy's the definition of energy, effort. You want to talk about a culture changer the second?
I think he was hip hop. I think he still is hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, I'm convinced if you pull the head off of hip hop, Croce's gonna be like giving you the thumbs up. Like Chuck Norris.
Listen,
Chuck Norris is full of shit.
I'm not here to say what guys do in the upper world, but I mean, if you tell me that guy wasn't prescribed Adderall or did cocaine, obviously illegal, I would tell you you're a liar. So I mean, sorry, no, everybody can drink a bang once in a while, bring a little energy. I mean, that dude was 24-hour energy. I don't know how he might not have slept. You know what I mean? He's an all-nighter. 365. The job wore him out too. He couldn't even handle that. He could one playoff run. He was done. He said, "That's it." One playoff run, wore him out.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey, give me a garden salad, hold the croutons, and give me cocaine."
with a side of Adderall. Yeah, he was so tired from chasing Allen around and keeping Allen under control.
Yeah, I feel like just like covering up for Allen. For 82 and a playoff run was like, that's it. I'm out. I mean, there ain't enough uppers in the world.
I'm tapping.
How could you sleep? AI's out till 6 in the morning.
You're like the dad where your teenager's out and you're a nervous wreck till you get the call when he's home safe. I mean, that was Pat Croce for a whole season with AI. Because I'm safe. I got a lot of money invested in this run. I don't care if the guy should have to practice tomorrow. Just get home safe. And then when he does get home safe, he's like, God damn, he better be at practice tomorrow. One at a time. Oh, man. Tristan says he sees the Phillies haven't changed. You know it, Dad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I really felt like it's right where we left off. I mean, it couldn't have been any more right where we left off. You could have scripted. I mean, Gabe, it's like the ghost of Gabe Kapler still here, right? And nothing Joe did. Just the lack of I don't want to say lack of talents on Gabe. That's not on Gabe, but just losing the lesser teams, playing down the competition. It's almost like that takes a minute to change a culture. Like it doesn't happen.
It takes a big trouble. I mean, right now, Joe's got a little pail. He's at the, he's got a little shovel, one of Bianca's shovels from, with a pail. You know what I mean? Like, you need a goddamn full blown shovel to get, to get rid of these last 2 years. You know what I mean? Like we said, we're not idiots. We have eyes. You know what I mean? Like the bullpen's been horrible for 2 years. You know what I mean? So, we never put that on him. We put all the other 15 games that he was responsible for losing. In 2 years, at least 15 games minimum, we put them on them. You know what I mean? Never once did we say, well, listen, it's your fault that Neris just gave up 3 straight home runs. No. That falls back to Clintek, which we never gave him a pass either. You know what I mean? But, Gabe did plenty of stupid stuff that they're still trying to recover from. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's freaking lotion all over that freaking locker room that they're still trying to get off the walls. They need luminol. We need some luminol to get that shit.
They're trying to sanitize it. It keeps going away because the lotion's all oily.
There's like markings in the bathroom, like get out, asked to be traded, like in the stalls. I mean that stuff's got to get erased too.
We hope so, but I think he's going to start Friday. They said he will start and make his next start. So I guess he's still got the coffin's still open for Vinny. At least the starting.
Like anything else, like if you just start a new job and you're a boss of people, it takes the time to implement what you want done, right? Like in the sporting world that we've all coached in, all of us on this panel, like you take over a new team if it's in the AAU circuits or the high school circuit.
You got a perfect guy in the room in a non-sports room. I mean, non-sports topic to talk about, and that's Steppy. Steppy has a team that he has to build up. You know what I mean? So if you're an inherited, 4 shit workers, you got to get rid of those guys. You know what I mean? Like you can't be going to battle with those guys. You know what I mean? Like you got to build. You want your best team. You know what I mean? To go forward
or simplify it and put them in a spot enough to make it worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Until you can
like putting Vinny V in the pen.
Until you can bring your guys in. Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely.
Well, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, it's always putting people in position to succeed. And I think what takes time in the manager role is the feel of what positions do these guys need to be in to succeed. And when it comes to your lineup, when it comes to your bullpen, who's going after who. I mean, that just takes time to learn. And like your eyes tell you a lot quick, obviously, right? And I'm not saying it takes years to do or, this kid, a guy get a feel real quick in 2-3 weeks, right? On exactly what you got, right? Just about guys' prep work, how a guy goes about his business, his agenda when he shows up to the damn park. So you read all them things. A lot of times as a coach, I know you guys have seen it where you get to know a kid well enough and he comes to the park and you can look at his face and say he ain't ready to go today. You know what I mean? In any role, and that's just part of knowing your guys. And then the other time, next day that kid can show up and be like, "Yep, he's ready to roll today." You know what I mean? That's just part of, I think, everything being shut down on this season. Not an excuse for Joe Girardi, but any new manager, right? It's tougher for any new manager, like we're talking about in football. Like it's going to be tougher for a guy like Michael McCarthy this year, or just because of the circumstances, right? Now you're going to get some. Obviously, now football is going to get a little bit more of that. Hopefully, right? Hopefully. But for baseball, was it like just, hey, we're going to come back quick, a little camp, boom, we're going. I mean, when you're a new manager, I don't care how much experience you have in the game. That's going to take them a minute. It's going to take a minute for guys to play up to these guys, right? Which I think is going to happen. They're going to start playing up to their manager. I just think it might take a minute for that to happen. But just because we lost the spring training, we lost that first 2 months of the season where it can be your feel or outer part, right? That you don't get back. And now these 2 months you can't feel it out. You're done. You felt it out. Good. You're on the 21. You know what I mean? So you don't have time to feel it out. That's the only tricky part when you're talking about just the way this season's going. But now you got to hope your star talent can override some of that and play up to a man and play up to the coaching staff, and some of the things around it. But we'll see. Before we get out of here, boys, crumb of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to go Pop-Tart. They are discontinuing the brown sugar and cinnamon Pop-Tarts.
You're an issue.
How dare them?
It's an outlandish that they are getting rid of it. It's outlandish that that's your crumb. I know it's one of the OGs, but there's so many better ones.
Yeah,
I was a joke, crumb. I do have another one as well.
Yeah. No, I'll go.
That was your Frank.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Like I said, we hoped that we never had to discuss him anymore because he's gone. But for me, it's got to be Gabe. It's got to be Gabe Kapler this week. You know what I mean? It's just you see what happens. You see what happens.
I didn't hear you now.
You see what happens.
I said, you said because we hate him and he's gone, and I said the sweeps who Wills.
All right, missed it. Dynamite dropping out of you. Just it's Gabe Kapler. You know what I mean? Like I said, he lands on this list, which you really don't. Oh yeah, here he comes. Glad you're here, buddy. Yeah, absolutely. Well, which we already told you. I was wondering where you were, pal. You know what I mean? We already said that. But for me, it's Kapler, and like I said, it's 4 games in, and whether it's the shifts, just seeing starters and relievers, guys are unhappy already. A week in, Johnny Cueto went 4 innings. It doesn't matter how many, whether he's coming off injury or not. Like he can't even get past the 4th. You know what I mean? Like, Gaussman talking about starters and relievers, guys like that. But most importantly for me was the other night on opening day, it's Brandon Crawford. He hits for Brandon Crawford in like the 7th inning in a 1-1 game. This is your Gold Glove shortstop opening night, lefty, not even second and third, not anybody on, just nobody on. All right, and you don't want him to face a left-handed hitter. You don't have any confidence in him on day one. All right, and you got to go hit for him. And then they go out the next inning with a revamped defense and give up 5 runs because they can't, their guys are either out of position or they're just not, they didn't execute defensively because you took out your linchpin, one of your shortstop, so it's just, it never stops with him. And like I said, it's, it's early on and this isn't, this isn't a bullpen thing. This isn't a talent thing because we know that, the Giants don't have a lot of talent either, but it's just,
it's a heart attack.
It never stops. But I mean, to me, it's an embarrassment that this guy stole a manager. You understand? It's an embarrassment. All right, Spells, love you, buddy. Maybe you're right. I don't know. The hatred I have for that guy is really off the charts. So maybe you're right. I don't know. All right, but the guy, to me, it's an embarrassment, and he got a job right away because the president is an ex-Dodger guy, and it's just like. Enough's enough with this guy. I can't even look at him. He sickens me. There you go. Love you.
I can't do it either.
Gabe.
But my crumb of the week, I'm right with Tristan's like in my head right now. But it's like it's some of these Phillies fans. Like I don't know, man. It's not. I don't really blame it on Harper. It is who he is. He's a polarizing figure. Anything he does is going to be polarizing. He plays into it big time to me, but I can't take it because it's not about taking him, like just taking this fan base that like anything he posts, they'll like literally be on their knees in a second. I understand like stardom. I understand what that entails. I understand what that there's going to be a lot of like these fake fans per se, but it's like I don't care what cleats he's wearing, bro. I don't care what jacket he wears to the fucking game. You understand? I don't care if it's stitched with every dollar bill he's made since he was drafted. I don't care. I don't. I care about winning. All right? This isn't a beauty pageant here. Okay? This is about winning. This is a major market. This is supposed to be Phillies baseball, right? Like in 08 after we won one, wasn't supposed to be our last time. We were supposed to keep coming back. We waited a long damn time to act like a big time market again. And we're finally like acting like it. And we worry about what cleats a guy wears. I'm worried about beating the freaking Marlins right now. All right? A team that we should freaking at least take 2 or 3 from. And I'm not blaming him. I'm just talking about the fan base. Like, I don't care about that he does the whole fan thing before the game. I don't care. I don't. Stop showing it to me. I care less. All right? I care about, all right, are we driving in runs? Are we winning games? Because that's what we spent the money to do. We didn't spend the money to be an average baseball team. We didn't sign Bryce Harper to a huge deal to be an average baseball team. Now, I'm not blaming all of that on him at all. Okay? But, again, you're the leader of this baseball team, though. Right? And I just need this team to be better than average or below average. And everything's going to start with him and ride with him. And I know it's not a one-star sport. You know what I mean? I understand that. Okay? But this team needs to be a playoff team. All right? And I need carrier months. And he started that today, thanks to the Scholastic guys. They didn't help us out one bit. But you know what I'm saying? I just don't care about the extra. I know Greg does. I know Wilson does. I know they love the cleats and the jackets and the hair and everything else.
Great hair. I wish I could do it.
No, I just want to win, man. I just want to win.
I mean, I'm good.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, winning is absolutely most important. But you're right, though. I mean, everything he does is going to be polarizing, whether he's trying to do it and be over the top or whether he's just trying to go about his business. You know what I mean?
He wants to be over the top, but that's fine. I mean, you can want to be in the spotlight all the time. But listen, I don't know. You bet 300 then. I know batting. I'm just talking shit, but you know what I mean? Like
and the answer, like I said, and sorry to cut you off. And the answer spells this question. Absolutely. I mean, at least I can answer that for myself, and I believe these guys as well. Like, I mean, if Joe does some in-game stuff that smells like a dirty fish, or he makes mistakes, absolutely. You know what I mean? But the same way that we have the other guy accountable as well. You know what I mean? Like. But I'm not gonna crush them when
what coach don't we hold accountable?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not gonna crush them when they're running those guys in the pen out there. You know what I mean? And like I said, in the same way that we didn't kill Gabe for that either. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there was once that we said like, you know what I mean? Like, it was how he did things, and I told you he was responsible for like 15, probably 15, 16 losses in 2 years. And look it up. That's just facts. That's just not,
if not each year.
Girlfriend. That's not an ex-girlfriend. That's not somebody hating. You understand? Like, you could like the guy. That's fine. You know what I mean? One guy has a track record. One guy won, right? And the other guy, all right, whether he was starting out or not, is trying to reinvent the wheel, Chip Kelly-esque, all right, and is an absolute jackass. That's the way. I mean, that's the difference. One guy's National League, was the manager of the year. One with the Marlins. Obviously, and has success with the Yankees. So we'll see. But I mean, absolutely. Like if he's doing things that don't add up or in-game stuff, he'll get crucified as well. You know what I mean? But I don't think the other dude got crucified for the bullpen. At least not on these airwaves. You know what I mean? Like that's, I can confidently say that. You know what I mean? Like we never once said like, like, hey, listen, we understood. What that pen was, you know what I mean? But, there's just better ways, to do things. It was how he handled things, you know what I mean?
There was stuff leading up to his use of the pen.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Big knock Bellinger. I root against him like it's nobody's business. You know what I mean? I root against him big time. But, yeah, okay, listen, Spiels, I mean, he hit a bomb today. No, I'm not debating that. I mean, he's mine. Understand? Like, he's mine too. All right, and I don't get caught up in the rest. Like the guy's mine. I love him. He's gonna be here forever. All right. I have my issues, but it doesn't mean I don't love him.
Do you?
Yeah, I have to. I ride around all my guys, but I also crush. I'm more just a smack in the fan base's face because it's below city. Like I go 0 for 5, so I got 5 times to wear the cleats, and it's a blow fest. Because I was reading comments like 5 hours after the game, people were still blowing it. Like, yo, whoa, we you know what I mean? We had an 0 for a night. Let's bump it down. Let's slow it down. I don't give a fuck about your cleats. That's all. Greg, did you have another one before we roll?
I did, and it's we're gonna key in line and the crumb kind of got more exaggerated as I started looking more into that. You know how we went back to the 2016. You missed on. I'm not gonna say we missed on Moniak, but we took Moniak. Guess who else was drafted the second round after our pick? One Mr. Pete Alonso. Okay, would have been nice. I don't know you can do that all the time, right? And then round 4. We drafted JoJo Romero. He seems to be okay, but there's a guy, Shane Bieber, who was drafted a couple picks after us. He seems to be okay. So, again, going back to it's going to be Matt Klentak in this front office. Bring it to today, and today's time frame is what is we talked about it early in the show. What does our rotation look like? What does our bullpen look like? How do you build? Tommy, you said it the same way. How do you dip your toe in and sign Harper? But yet we're reluctant to extend JT. We're reluctant to keep Luriano on because of a contract, right? We're reluctant to go out and sign, a second-tier guy on top of Zach Wheeler to make sure that we have more than 2 people in our starting rotation, right? What is going on there? Stupid money apparently isn't real, or it only was when John Middleton is signing the actual checks and signing Bryce Harper, not Matt Klentak. So this front office needs, we know that the trade deadline is probably 2 weeks away, but this bullpen needs some, adjustments and needs to get fixed ASAP.
No, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And like I said,
we'll lose Tommy.
Yeah,
I went.
Oh, there he goes.
We'll see what happens going forward. You know what I mean? But this year, like Spell said, it's just and we all know that it's a 60-game sprint. And it's just a lot of weird stuff. Whether it's the extra inning stuff, whatever. So, it's just going to be like, hey, buckle up and watch and see what happens. You know what I mean? But going forward, once we get full seasons back, we'll and if there's still struggling to bring arms in and sign some guys, the help out on that side. It'll be interesting to see if Harp, does some restructuring, so to speak. Not to lose any money. I'm not, telling them to do that. I'm saying like almost like a deferred money, or almost like not a necessarily a Bobby Bonilla deal, but a Bobby Bo deal, but something like that where it's just it's later on down the line where you'll be comfortable later on, and now it frees up some things. So we'll see how that plays out. I understand guaranteed contract and all that stuff, but we will see the next couple of years. If they continue to not have success, like everybody wants them to. So we'll see.
Trish, I really like Didi. Sorry, Tom, I didn't know if that's where you're headed. Trish, I really do like what Didi's brought so far, both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
evaluate him in a couple weeks. They said, sorry.
Doesn't look good though. Doesn't look good. Yeah, doesn't look good.
Real
quick, on Wednesday we'll have Kai Clarlin on, Sixers beat writer. So we'll have him on Wednesday night. Talk to him.
Nice.
Before Thursday. Yeah, when you shot me a message about it, I was like, oh shit. I was like, let me text him now. Right.
Nice. I knew. Yeah, you never responded, so I was like, maybe you didn't get it yet.
No, I just went right.
Good work out of you.
I just dove in. Water's warm here. At ATD, obviously not for the Phillies, but here at ATD, like, want to make a move? You want to have a good show? Talk some Sixers. Get ready for the NBA restart. Takes place Thursday. Sixers obviously go on Saturday. So, boys.
Like you said, sorry, just not to cut you off, just not to bring down the deep, not to dampen the mood again, but like you said, Moustakas put on the IL, the mysterious IL thing. Senzel missed because of an illness. This, listen, we just want to positive thoughts for sports, but it's so every bottom line, it's never stopping with every team. It just keeps going.
We expected that. They might run out of players. They might not have enough. So we'll see. We'll see. We thought they had enough. We thought they're fine. They got so many. They got 4, 5 freaking minor league teams. They'll be fine. We'll be playing with freaking Class A guys in 3 weeks.
Spells, thanks for tuning in, brother. You know we love you.
Thanks, guys. Bells, Tristan, Don, Jay. Appreciate you all. TTP, everybody chiming in. I don't want to miss everybody. You guys all know it. We appreciate you. We'll have the doc on next week with us. Back on, let's talk a little. Who knows? Hopefully we don't have injuries to talk about next Sunday. After the Sixers start up Saturday. So cross fingers for a healthy Joe and beat. But
the calf strain lead to anything.
Early exit from the bubble.
Don't you put that evil on his sweeps.
I know. That's what I mean, I was just segueing into asking Doc.
Yeah.
All right, boys. For time unknown, Greg Mwagwick, Nick Delgazzo, no Brian Wilson. Screw them. Everybody join us. We love you. Everybody continue to be safe, healthy out there. And, hey, Phil's big one again tomorrow. Right back on the horse. Yep. About baseball.
Bad, the bully's coming to town. The big bad bully coming to town. So you don't punch him in the mouth, or you're going to give him your mug money. Let's find out.
Find out. Baseball team get up real quick, boys. But let's go. Sports are back. Exciting time. Everybody enjoy it. Stay tuned. Obviously, all week to the show. Sports Hounds tomorrow night. You guys already know. We out.
Later.